If entrepreneurship is the ticket to financial freedom, a life of luxury, autonomy, and success, then why do 1 out of every 3 entrepreneurs live with depression and anxiety? That's right, a study at the University of California revealed that 30% of entrepreneurs battle with depression, compared to just 7% of the average American. This means entrepreneurs are 4 times more likely to meet an early, tragic end than the average person. For every 3 entrepreneurs watching this, 1 of you is battling depression or anxiety, and that 1 just might be you. And the stories we hear in the news certainly support this research. Stories like that of Paul Castle, the British real estate tycoon who amassed a fortune, flew in private jets, drove Bentleys and Ferraris, and even played polo with Prince Charles. Now you would think he had it all, yet at the young age of 54, Paul Castle jumped in front of a speeding subway train and took his own life. Stories like that of Tony Hsieh, the visionary business leader who built Zappos and sold it to Amazon for $1.2 billion. His book and his talks inspired so many people, including myself. And you would think he had it all. Yet at the young age of just 46, after a downward spiral of substance abuse and self-destructive behavior, Tony Hsieh died tragically in a house fire. Stories like that of Kevin Samuels, a multi-millionaire lifestyle consultant with over 1.4 million YouTube subscribers. He dressed well and seemed to be in good shape. He had a massive following. You would think he had it all. Yet at the young age of 54, he died suddenly from a heart attack. I could go on and on with examples. I even have personal friends who met an early demise, and it breaks my heart because it was preventable. So ask yourself, why do these preventable tragedies occur, and what can we do to make sure it doesn't happen to us or to someone that we love? Perhaps the reason why is because we glorify hustle culture. The gurus teach us to focus, follow one course until successful. Keep your nose down and grind hard. Bigger is better. Go big or go home. Ignore everything else until you reach your goal, because everything else is a distraction and a waste of time. But I argue that this type of advice is extremely toxic and dangerous. I even heard one popular business guru advocate ignoring your health to pursue financial wealth. He said that trying to get a six-pack is a waste of time and that the guys with six-packs are broke. Well, guess what, Dan? I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I used to be broke and overweight with high cholesterol and high visceral fat, at risk for heart disease. But after a close brush with death and a rebirth moment in my health, I now have a six-pack. And I look and feel younger now than I did 17 years ago. I used to be buried in debt. I even came close to bankruptcy, but after a close brush with financial death and a subsequent rebirth moment in my finances, I'm now debt-free with a profitable multi-million-dollar business. But I remember being stressed out, working all the time, and depending on anti-anxiety prescription medication just to feel normal. I felt trapped and unhappy. But after a close brush with death and a rebirth moment in my personal life, I now have the freedom to travel the world, impact the lives of others, enjoy an amazing lifestyle, which includes being present for my wife and children. Now, I'm not touting these accomplishments to brag, but rather to illustrate that I'm just a normal guy with no business education, and all the unhealthy habits that we all have. I'm just like everyone else. And if I can do it, you can too. And I'm not the only one who has achieved this type of lifestyle. There are countless others, and I reverse engineer their success in my #1 best-selling book, Wealth Beyond Money. But society has molded us to follow the wrong examples. You see, the lie we've been told is that to achieve great success, we must have single-minded focus and sacrifice everything else. But I say, bullshit. You can have it all. And I will teach you how to do it without going through the near-death experiences that I went through. The first thing you need to know is that the traditional concept of life balance is flawed. Just think about the word balance for a moment. What image comes to mind? A seesaw, the scales of justice? For this concept to work, one side must be down in order for the other side to be up. At best, if both sides are balanced, the result is mediocrity. See, the truth is there are actually 6 metrics that every entrepreneur should have on their dashboard, but most don't. And through awareness and calibration of these metrics, we can design the exact life that we really want without sacrificing anything that matters. The second thing you need to know is this: true failure should be avoided, not celebrated. I define true failure as preventable, permanent failure. How many times have we heard a guru say that failure is a necessary step on the path to success? We see failure as a badge of honor. That's nonsense, because if it's true failure, then it's impossible to recover from it. Newsflash: some choices we make have irreversible consequences. But the good news is that there are only 3 types of these preventable permanent failures. Preventable permanent health damage or death, including suicide. Preventable permanent relationship damage. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean they'll forgive you. And incarceration until death. Anything else is not true failure. It's just a stumbling block. Now, we're not talking about freak accidents or acts of nature or things that are beyond our control. It's life, and things like this are bound to happen. I'm talking about preventable, permanent failures based on choices that we make. You can recover from bankruptcy. You can recover from divorce. You can even recover from a bad reputation. Just ask Robert Downey Jr. But if you choose to ignore your health in pursuit of becoming a billionaire, who cares if you became a billionaire but you're dead or debilitated at age 53? That's not success. That's failure. If you're dead, you're out of business. And I'm not saying money isn't important. Sometimes we just place more emphasis on money than we need to at the sake of everything else. We also make making money harder than it really needs to be. In my talk, I teach that there are just 3 key numbers that any business owner needs to focus on. And if you increase those numbers by just 26%, you will double your revenue. It's that simple. And you can improve your money situation without neglecting your health or your relationships. The last thing you need to know is that designing your new life, it doesn't happen by luck or by genetics or by accident. There are specific scientific changes that you can make, that you can implement. They aren't time consuming or difficult. In fact, with the right mindset and tools, you can actually create more time in your day, have more energy, love, and wealth than you ever imagined. But you must be intentional about it. After the past 2 years we've been through, it's time to rethink success. The first step you can take is an easy one. Book me for my newest keynote talk, where I dive deep into the 6 KPIs every successful entrepreneur should have on their dashboard. I will teach you the simple 8-phase process based on my personal journey, combined with 8 years of researching the habits of ultra-successful business leaders to help you attain real wealth, wealth beyond money. Not only will your members leave this talk transformed, but you just may save someone's life, and that life could be your own. So click the link below to schedule a call with me. I promise you, this talk will equip you and your audience with the tools to design your best life. Because believe it or not, you can have it all.